Comparing the Biden re-election angst to the now-forgotten Obama version. There is some fascinating reporting from 24newsread.blogspot.com's Edward Isaac Dovere about the increasing levels of angst top Democrats are expressing about President Joe Biden's re-election campaign. Dovere refers to worried conversations among Democrats and donors, contrary to all the public evidence, that maybe Biden won't end up running for re-election.
Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos.
That maybe Biden won't end up running for re-election. They feel like time is already running out and that the lack of the more robust campaign activity they want to see is a sign that his heart isn't really in it, Dovere writes. Here's a longer excerpt. In a race that many expect will likely come down to a few 100,000 votes in a few states, the doubters argue that every day without a packed schedule on the stump will prove to voters that Biden's age is as big a worry as they believe it is. Or that the president and people around him aren't taking the threat of losing to Donald Trump or another Republican seriously enough, and they're setting up for election night next year to be 2016 déjà vu. If Trump wins next November and everyone says, "How did that happen?" one of the questions will be, what was the Biden campaign doing in the summer of 2023, said a person who worked in a senior role on Biden's 2020 campaign.
Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos.
Doing in the summer of 2023, said a person who worked in a senior role on Biden's 2020 campaign. The Biden world retort, this again? On Inside Politics on Thursday, 24newsread.blogspot.com's Dana Bash asked Dovere for his takeaway on how much people currently inside Biden world privately agree with the concerns coming from outside. Inside Biden world, the real circle of people around the president, they don't agree with this at all, he said. What they would say is, how many times do we have to go through this? How many times do people have to doubt Joe Biden and say he can't win an election? And then at the end of the day, he won the primaries, he won the nomination, he won the election in 2020. Dovere also quotes Jim Messina, Barack Obama's 2012 presidential re-election campaign manager, who has been privately advising Biden's team. At this point in that cycle, Obama's campaign was much more fully formed, according to Dovere, who writes of Biden's re-election effort. The headquarters in Wilmington discussed to be open by mid-July still isn't. No staff is currently on the ground in competitive states, and names of potential hires have only started to be collected for review by the president and top advisors. The dozen people who are working for Biden-Harris 2024 full-time are mostly camped out at desks in the Democratic National Committee near Capitol Hill in Washington, with some griping about the delays in hiring staff and others still grumbling about how long it took to get on the payroll themselves. There is still no campaign finance director. Obama's re-election, remembered. Obama may have had more infrastructure in place, but that doesn't mean his 2012 effort was worry-free. It's hard to believe it now, more than a decade later, but Obama's primary journey in 2012, while a sure thing and a cakewalk, was also beset by frustrations. For instance, Gallup released a poll before the 2010 midterm election suggesting that more than a third of Democrats and Democratic-leaning adults would back his Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton, if she challenged him for the nomination. She obviously never did. Obama was extremely weakened after that 2010 midterm, suffering what he called a shell-lacking, when Republicans claimed a much larger House majority than the barely there edge Republicans currently enjoy in the House, where Biden and Obama are about equal. In the summer of 2011, although it was not reported publicly at the time, Senator Bernie Sanders seriously considered challenging Obama, according to subsequent reporting by Dovere for The Atlantic. Then Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid intervened to talk Sanders down, and Messina told Dovere that the prospect of a Sanders challenge had Obama's campaign team absolutely panicked. At this point in Obama's presidency, the summer of 2011, his approval rating among all adults was 44%, just about tied with Biden's Gallup approval rating of 43% at the end of June. Obama's approval rating among Democrats at this point in his presidency was 79%, which is about the same as Biden's approval rating among Democrats today, 82% in the Gallup polling from the end of June. But Obama had slightly more support among Republicans, which may have something to do with the ever more partisan national political environment. During the actual primary, Obama kept suffering embarrassments. A prison inmate got 40% of the Democratic vote in the West Virginia primary in 2012. 24newsread.blogspot.com's Jake Tapper wrote about it for ABC News at the time and noted that Senator Joe Manchin would not say who he voted for, Obama or inmate Keith Judd, according to one report. In other red states, Obama also struggled in the primaries, getting less than 60% in primaries in Kentucky and Arkansas. These were not exactly contested races, and the fact that Obama didn't have a stronger showing is probably a reflection of who shows up to vote in a nationally uncontested Democratic primary when the real race that year was on the Republican side. Republicans canceled some primaries in 2020. When the situation was reversed in 2020 and then President Donald Trump faced some token challengers, Republicans simply canceled multiple primaries. South Carolina canceled its primary even though its former governor, Mark Sanford, was challenging Trump. This year, it's another former South Carolina governor, Nikki Haley, and a sitting South Carolina senator, Tim Scott, who are running in the single digits in national primary polls. Biden's top challenger so far is an outcast Kennedy. For Biden, his biggest challenger so far is Robert F. Kennedy Jr., whose campaign is driven by anti-vaccine conspiracy theories. Yes, Kennedy is registering in polls, more than 10% in many. But his out-of-the-mainstream views also mean he can't get the backing of his family members, much less be viewed as a viable Biden alternative. For an idea of how much of a long shot Kennedy is, read this analysis from 24newsread.blogspot.com's Harry Onton. There's certainly nothing as dangerous to Biden as when Senator Ted Kennedy tried to displace then-President Jimmy Carter in 1980, inarguably wounding Carter before he was trounced by Ronald Reagan. There's also nothing like the spirited primary challenge by Pat Buchanan that wounded then-President George H.W. Bush's chances in 1992. Nor is there a serious independent bid that could feature in the general election, like Ross Perot's in '92. Bush ultimately lost the three-way race to Bill Clinton. All of this suggests that while Democrats will continue to worry about Biden's age, his campaign structure, his unique ability to stumble over words and all of the ways Republicans attack him, he's a lock to be their nominee barring unforeseen events. Onton. There's certainly nothing as dangerous to Biden as when Senator Ted Kennedy tried to displace then-President Jimmy Carter in 1980, inarguably wounding Carter before he was trounced by Ronald Reagan. There's also nothing like the spirited primary challenge by Pat Buchanan that wounded then-President George H.W. Bush's chances in 1992. Nor is there a serious independent bid that could feature in the general election, like Ross Perot's in '92. Bush ultimately lost the three-way race to Bill Clinton. All of this suggests that while Democrats will continue to worry about Biden's age, his campaign structure, his unique ability to stumble over words and all of the ways Republicans attack him, he's a lock to be their nominee barring unforeseen events. Ways Republicans attack him, he's a lock to be their nominee barring unforeseen events.
Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos. Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos.
RBA, Australia names first woman to lead its central bank. Australia's central bank says it will be led by a woman for the first time since it was founded in 1960. Michelle Bullock will succeed Philip Lowe, who is coming to the end of a 7-year term as Governor of the Reserve Bank of Australia, RBA. Her appointment comes as the country has been battling rising prices and the RBA is facing a major shakeup. It has raised interest rates to their highest level in over a decade in a bid to tackle inflation.
Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos.
Rates to their highest level in over a decade in a bid to tackle inflation. The Australian financial services industry is male-dominated and has one of the nation's widest gender pay gaps. Ms. Bullock, who is currently the RBA's Deputy Governor, is due to start her 7-year term as Governor on September 18. It is a challenging time to be coming into this role, but I will be supported by a strong executive team and boards, Ms. Bullock said in a statement on Friday. I am committed to ensuring that the Reserve Bank delivers on its policy and operational objectives for the benefit of the Australian people, she added. Ms. Bullock has been described as an RBA insider, having joined the central bank as an analyst nearly 4 decades ago. In that time she has held senior management positions, including Assistant Governor and Head of the Payments Policy Department, before being appointed as the RBA's Deputy Governor in April 2022. Australia's Prime Minister Anthony Albanese said in a post on Twitter that Ms. Bullock was an outstanding economist.
Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos.
April 2022. Australia's Prime Minister Anthony Albanese said in a post on Twitter that Ms. Bullock was an outstanding economist, with a long and distinguished career at the central bank. We believe she has the experience, expertise, and fresh perspective to lead the RBA as Australia, and the world, face ongoing economic challenges, Mr. Albanese said in another tweet. Finance Minister Kathy Gallagher said, "This is a historic moment for Australia with Michelle's appointment seeing our RBA led by a woman for the first time." Mr. Lowe, the RBA's outgoing governor, said the central bank was in good hands as it deals with the rising cost of living. The Treasurer has made a first-rate appointment. I wish Michelle all the best, he said. The RBA is under pressure to tackle inflation, which is stretching household budgets. The central bank has raised interest rates 12 times since last May, to mixed reactions from economists. The RBA's main interest rate is currently at an 11-year high of 4.1%. In theory, raising interest rates makes it more expensive to borrow money and encourages people to spend less, which can bring down inflation. Mr. Lowe faced criticism after suggesting that Australians should work more and spend less to deal with higher borrowing costs. If people can cut back spending, or in some cases find additional hours of work, that would put them back into a positive cash flow position, Mr. Lowe said at a financial industry conference last month. He has also defended the central bank's decision to raise its main interest rate for the 12th time, saying homeowners are doing fine. Earlier this year, the Australian government released its first external review of the RBA in 40 years. The review made 51 recommendations, including calls for the central bank to have a clearer monetary policy framework and greater accountability. Australia's financial services industry continues to have one of the nation's highest gender pay gaps, according to government data. The Workplace Gender Equality Agency found a 28.6% difference in remuneration between males and females across the sector last year. This was higher than the national gender pay gap of 22.8%. Gender pay gaps, according to government data. The Workplace Gender Equality Agency found a 28.6% difference in remuneration between males and females across the sector last year. This was higher than the national gender pay gap of 22.8%. 22.8%.
Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos. Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos.
One-size-fits-all approach to health not working, Health Minister says. Plans have been unveiled by the government to shift health spending from fixing problems to preventing them. Health Minister Ayesha Viral said the government's 10-year blueprint for the health sector, Pay or a Healthy Futures Strategies, was about more than what health services can do. It also recognizes that we need to support and empower people to take control of their own health, and address the wider factors which drive good health and well-being, Viral said.
Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos.
Wider factors which drive good health and well-being, Viral said. It's vital we prioritize the prevention, reduction, and delaying of ill health wherever possible. This means shifting focus and resource towards preventive health care, not just spending more on the same services to fix the same problems. The plan aimed to shift resources to prevention long-term to benefit all New Zealanders, alongside 5 specific strategies for Maori, Pacifica, people with disabilities, women, and rural communities. This is the first time Pacific peoples, women, and rural communities have had their own health strategies, Viral said. Today's publication followed extensive engagement by Manatu Ha'ora, the Ministry of Health, TEAKAY Ora and Ministry for Ethnic Communities through face-to-face meetings, Waianga, Phono, focus groups.
Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos.
AKAY Ora and Ministry for Ethnic Communities through face-to-face meetings, Waianga, Phono, focus groups, online discussions, written submissions, and in-depth workshops. During the process, we heard stories of people who didn't get the help they needed because of gender, orientation, or ethnicity, Viral said. We heard that we need to end the one-size-fits-all approach to health services, regardless of what people actually need. The old health system had become too remote and detached. The Pay-Ora's strategies and our wider health reforms are designed to tackle this and support greater community-driven participation over health service delivery. She said the public can expect to see practical implementation plans for these high-level aspirational goals by the middle of next year, with government agencies now working on policies and budgets to make this ambitious vision a reality. Change of this scale will take time. However, health isn't just a short-term outcome. These strategies provide the direction for lasting change. However, health isn't just a short-term outcome. These strategies provide the direction for lasting change.
Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos. Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos.
France confers Grand Cross of the Legion of Honor on PM Modi. France has conferred the Grand Cross of the Legion of Honor, the highest of the country's civilian and military honors, on Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The award was presented to Modi by President Emmanuel Macron following a private dinner hosted by the French leader at the Élysée Palace in Paris on Thursday evening. Modi thanked Macron for this singular honor on behalf of the people of India, the External Affairs Ministry said.
Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos.
The people of India, the External Affairs Ministry said. The dinner was the final engagement on the first day of Modi's 2-day visit to France. I thank President Emmanuel Macron and Mrs. Macron for hosting me at the Élysée Palace this evening, Modi tweeted. External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Arindam Bagchi described the award as a warm gesture embodying the spirit of India-France partnership. Modi is the first Indian premier to receive this honor. In the past, the Grand Cross of the Legion of Honor has been awarded to prominent leaders and eminent personalities from around the world, including former South African President Nelson Mandela, former German Chancellor Angela Merkel and former UN Secretary-General Boutros Boutros-Ghali.
Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos.
German Chancellor Angela Merkel and former UN Secretary-General Boutros Boutros-Ghali. In June, Egypt conferred the Order of the Nile on Modi. He also received the Order of the Druk Gyalpo from Bhutan in 2021, the Legion of Merit from the US in 2020, the Order of St. Andrew from Russia in 2019, the Order of Zayd from the UAE in 2019, and the Order of Abdulaziz Al Saud from Saudi Arabia in 2016. From Saudi Arabia in 2016.
Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos. Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos.
PM Modi's Chandrayaan-3 scripts new chapter tweet as ISRO launches third moon mission. Minutes after India's third lunar exploration mission Chandrayaan-3 was successfully launched into the orbit from the Satish Dhawan Space Center in Andhra Pradesh's Sriharikota, Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Friday said that it has scripted a new chapter in India's space odyssey.
Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos.
Did a new chapter in India's space odyssey. He said that the mission soars high, elevating the dreams and ambitions of every Indian. This momentous achievement is a testament to our scientists' relentless dedication. I salute their spirit and ingenuity, PM Modi tweeted. Chandrayaan-3's journey from Earth to the Moon is estimated to take about a month and the landing is expected on August 23, covering a distance of.
Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos.
Expected on August 23, covering a distance of over 300,000 kilometers. Upon landing, the spacecraft is expected to operate for one lunar day, which is approximately 14 Earth days. The spacecraft is equipped with a lander, a rover, and a propulsion module, and weighs around 3,900 kilograms. Meanwhile, several other political leaders have also lauded the successful launch.
Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos. Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos.
Singapore, Malaysia to study setting up special economic zone in Johor. Singapore and Malaysia will set up a task force to study the setting up of a special economic zone in Johor and are one step closer to launching a new ferry service between Tuas in Singapore and Puteri Harbour in Johor. Singapore's National Development Minister Desmond Lee told reporters on Friday, July 14, that both Singapore and Malaysia welcome the idea of a special economic zone as it will bring a lot of benefits to people in Singapore, Malaysia, and the Malaysian state of Johor.
Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos.
Benefits to people in Singapore, Malaysia, and the Malaysian state of Johor. Not just in enhancing the economy and providing a tremendous value proposition that builds on the strengths and attractiveness of both Johor and Singapore, he said on the sidelines of the 16th meeting of the Malaysia-Singapore Joint Ministerial Committee for Iskandar Malaysia, JMSIM. But it will bring tangible benefits in terms of jobs, livelihoods, and better lives for both people living in Johor and Singapore. The JMSIM noted that the Special Economic Zone will help drive sustainable growth, develop human capital, and improve infrastructure and connectivity. It will also build on Johor's strong growth and significant investments in the region by Singapore, said JMSIM in a statement on Friday. Johor recorded RM70.6 billion, $15.6 billion worth of foreign investments in 2022, across various sectors including electrical and electronics.
Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos.
Dollars worth of foreign investments in 2022, across various sectors including electrical and electronics, medical equipment, food manufacturing, and data centers. The task force studying the Special Economic Zone will give a progress update at the 10th Singapore-Malaysia Leaders Retreat, to be held in Singapore later this year. It will be led by the Ministry of Trade and Industry from Singapore and Ministry of Economy from Malaysia, with the support of relevant government agencies from both countries. The JMSIM has met regularly since it was set up in 2007 to review cooperation in the South Johor Economic Zone of Iskandar. Last year, the committee said a transportation work group will study how to improve cross-border connectivity for pedestrians and cyclists and the feasibility of a new ferry service between Tuas and Puteri Harbour. During an official visit to Singapore in February, Johor Chief Minister An Hafiz Ghazi had proposed this ferry service to ease congestion on the Tuas Second Link. Commercial operators in Singapore and Malaysia will be starting discussions to assess the commercial viability of a potential new ferry service between Puteri Harbour and Tuas, James Seam said. It did not provide further details on where in Tuas the ferry would depart from. The Transportation Work Group has also agreed in principle to increase the frequency of the KTM Tabrau shuttle, a train service that connects Woodlands and Johor, from 31 to 36 daily trips. The new schedule will commence once agencies on both sides work out further details. Special Economic Zone. Mr. Lee said the task force studying the Johor-Singapore Special Economic Zone will first have to draft its terms of reference and broad areas of collaboration. Special economic zones refer to geographically delimited areas within a country's borders that offer well-developed industrial spaces with special legal regimes, rules, institutional environments, and incentives. Many Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN, member states have implemented such zones to attract investments, create jobs, and encourage exports. These zones include export processing zones, free trade zones, technology parks and digital free trade zones. But the James Seam doesn't start from a blank canvas. Many work groups have done very good work, whether it's on transport connectivity for the people, innovation, business ecosystem, environment, tourism, technical and skills training and all that, Mr. Lee said. Many of these will also be geared in support of the Special Economic Zone vision. The Special Economic Zone was first moved by Malaysia's Economy Minister Rafizi Ramli, who said in May that the Malaysian government had discussed the idea with Singapore but that it had yet to be formalized. What we need to iron out is some work on harmonization, Mr. Rafizi said on Friday. Because certainly, if we want to operate and function as an economic region, we have to try our best to allow for interconnectivity and interoperability so that it is as seamless as possible. Of course, an economic zone would allow for much better movement of people and goods. So there's also some harmonization that we have to do in terms of immigration and customs. But these are all at the early stage. Both Mr. Rafizi and Mr. An represented Malaysia, while Mr. Lee was accompanied by Acting Transport Minister Chee Hong Tat. The James Seam looks forward to meeting again soon in Malaysia to sustain the positive momentum of bilateral collaboration, James Seam said. Movement of people and goods. So there's also some harmonization that we have to do in terms of immigration and customs. But these are all at the early stage. Both Mr. Rafizi and Mr. An represented Malaysia, while Mr. Lee was accompanied by Acting Transport Minister Chee Hong Tat. The James Seam looks forward to meeting again soon in Malaysia to sustain the positive momentum of bilateral collaboration, James Seam said. Collaboration, James Seam said.
Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos. Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos.